This episode is for the woman who feels like you're doing everything right, but you still feel stuck with your health. You've been on your fitness journey for quite some time now, and your body isn't responding like it used to. You don't look as lean as you were a few years ago, despite the fact that you're eating less and working out just as much, if not more. Physically, you feel inflamed and drained. Mentally, you feel frustrated and defeated. Maybe you've been normalizing symptoms like weak workouts or exhaustion, poor sleep, aches and pains, brain fog, bloating. And at this point, you know that there has to be a deeper root cause for what's going on, but you don't know where they're coming from. And you truthfully just feel confused as to why you, the healthy one, the disciplined one, the one who values nutrition and exercise, why are you the one dealing with so many issues when it comes to your body? You've done the whole route of eating less, doing a calorie deficit. That's not working any longer. And you've heard that maybe the solution is eat more and reverse diet. But at this point, you're just confused by all the information overload that is out there. And playing this constant guessing game is just exhausting. The problem here isn't your lack of discipline or effort. It's that your actions don't align with what your goal or what your body needs right now to start responding again. You've been for the past few months or few years, you've just been putting in a whole lot of effort without any ROI, without getting any result. So no wonder you're feeling this way. This episode is designed to help you change that because your body isn't broken in the way that you might think. It is just burnout. And it's getting more burnout as we speak, as you continue to try to just push yourself harder to get more results. You're in the trap that so many high achieving women fall into, where fortunately or unfortunately, you have been programmed to believe that the harder that something is, the more successful you will be. That if you aren't pushing yourself to your limits, that you aren't doing enough. And this tolerance for discomfort is so much higher than the average person. So you have been for years ignoring the signs and the symptoms for too long. That your body is telling you that that you need to slow down, that it needs some attention, that honestly it needs just better habits around nutrition. And if you're still listening to this, chances are you've reached that max capacity point where pushing harder is backfiring, where your symptoms are no longer something that you can keep ignoring. The fatigue is impacting your work. The irritability is impacting your relationships. The weight gain is impacting your confidence. There is a limit where you just can't push past any harder or any longer. In fact, once you reach that point, once you reach that max capacity threshold, the harder that you push, the worse that you feel. Your body is going to start to fight back because when it's overly and chronically stressed, your body adapts, meaning changes are happening internally on a very physiological level with your hormones, your gut, your cells, your systems, your metabolism. You have a downregulated thyroid output, you have increased cortisol baseline, you have reduced sex hormone production, you have a slowing metabolic rate, you have impaired digestive capacity, you have increased water retention and inflammation where your body's just holding on to body fat. These are all the adaptations that occur as a byproduct of chronic stress and overworking and improperly fueling. And the more that these adaptations continue to happen, the more dysfunction that is going to be created internally. And that dysfunction is the root cause of these symptoms that you're experiencing. And the reason that these adaptations are occurring in the first place all boils down to one very simple concept. And I hope that this episode can really simplify all of the information overload out there and help you create a good game plan or pathway to be like, hey, here's what the next steps needs to be for me for true healing and to get better results when it comes to my physique. So all of this burnout that we're referring to boils down to one very simple concept. Your body's inputs and outputs don't match up, and they haven't matched up for years. Your inputs have been very low, whether it's nutritionally, you've been under eating, or just like poor quality nutrition because you're super busy, you're just having grab and go options, or maybe it's, less nutrient dense sources, super low carb, low calorie, diet friendly foods that aren't actually high quality nutrition. It's lacking rest, it's lacking recovery, poor sleep, not enough rest days, not enough actual parasympathetic activation of your nervous system, which I have tons of other episodes on. Your inputs are very low. And on top of that, your outputs are very high. Training, stress, mental load, expectations. And one point that I want to note out here is like the outputs that you have in your life aren't necessarily a bad thing. And I don't necessarily need or want you to lower your outputs. We just need to make sure that your inputs support your outputs, support your capacity to be able to show up in your work and in your family life and in your career and in your health and wellness journey at the capacity that you want to operate as a high achiever, as a high performer, as someone with big goals and ambitions. So this is what we need to address because you've been overdrafting your body for years. Your body is in hella debt. Like, think about it like a bank account. You've been overdrafting your body and now it's in debt. And we need to pay off that debt before we can start expecting your body to be able to function optimally and lose body fat efficiently again. Truthfully, right now, body fat is the only place that your body can go for energy, for nutrients. That's where it stores it when it's not getting it adequately through nutrition. And so it's going to conserve body fat as much as possible. The longer that your inputs stay low, the more that your output is going to be depleted. Output being the worse that your body can function hormonally, metabolically, digestively, and the more that it's going to put body recomposition on the back burner here. And this is why your body has become unresponsive. And in order to shift back into balance, it requires you to start doing the exact opposite of what you've been doing for years. And that is why eating more is the key to better results for you. The entire episode title of this podcast episode. Because when you increase your input, it trains your body that it can also increase its output. It teaches your body and brain that it's going to have the energy and the nutrients that it needs to support a higher metabolic rate, that it's going to support better digestive capacity, that it's going to support more efficient hormone production and detoxification, that it can actually let go of the stubborn body fat that it's been holding on to. When energy availability improves, your body increases your output, your NEAT goes up, your energy gets higher, your digestion improves, your inflammation goes down, you look leaner and you look tighter, your sleep gets better, your recovery improves from your workouts. And I know that eating more can sound scary to hear. Like, trust me, I've been there. But it really is the only way for your body to heal, for you to start feeling like yourself again. And what I found to be the most helpful thing when having this conversation with hundreds of women over the past couple of years is setting very clear expectations and a very crystal clear plan for what eating more even means, and almost even creating a timeline for it so that you know when you can get back to focusing on a calorie deficit and body recomposition in a healthy way again. So I wanted to give you a little client example of what this looks like. I want to break down step by step how I brought my client Frankie through this reverse dieting journey of slowly eating more and how it really did improve all of her symptoms and even her physique. So she came to me after an experience working with a previous coach. She did one of those like 12-week 1,200 calorie extreme challenges. And the truth is, it worked for her. She lost tons of weight. But the second that challenge was over in the spring and the summertime started, she gained it all back. And she came to me during the fall, I think it was around September, and she wanted to learn how to fix her metabolism after that and how she could lose the weight that she had gained, but in a way that she could actually maintain this time around. So when she came to me, she was eating around about 1,400 calories, but it was a little bit of a yo-yo where like the weekends were a lot higher than throughout the week. But I would say on average, she came to me eating around about 1,400 calories. We started her with a 1,600 calorie target for 2 weeks. So it's not like we just started eating tons more calories. We started her with a 1,600 calorie target for 2 weeks, bumped her calories to 1,700 for 1 week, 1,800 for another week, 1,900 for another week, 2,000 for another week, 2,100 for 2 weeks, and then 2,200 for 9 weeks throughout the holidays. So and then after that, we were able to start her deficit after the first 4 months of working together. And 4 months is typically the amount of time that I see it take to go through a reverse diet and go through a sustainable maintenance phase where we can really create metabolic upregulation, support hormone function, improve digestion. And for her physique tightened up a lot. Her bloating and inflammation went down, her energy improved, and her relationship with food got better. She was like, oh, I feel like a real human again. And I feel like I have a really good relationship with carbs, with calories, with food. And I'm really enjoying this flexibility, which was key for her throughout the holidays. And then the beginning of this year, I think in the beginning of February, we have just recently started her calorie deficit phase. And now her body is responsive. Now her metabolism is working for her instead of against her. So this is how and why eating more supports your body's output. No weight was gained throughout this process of a reverse diet. If anything, she looks way leaner, way tighter, her physique is improved, and her symptoms are she's a completely new woman as a byproduct of this. So this is your reminder that you don't need more effort in your health and fitness journey. You probably just need a little more expertise. You need a different strategy, not someone to hold your hand and remind you to eat healthy and to train consistently. You do that. You need someone who's an expert at metabolism and body recomposition phases and stress mitigation, and who is going to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear in the moment because you're chasing fat loss. Who's going to tell you, hey, we need to take a little break away from chasing fat loss and get your body in a healthier place internally so it can respond again. So you can stop sabotaging your own results because you think doing more of what you're currently doing is the answer, when really doing more of the same thing that hasn't been working for months and months or years and years, that's the definition of insanity, and you just need a new strategy. So here's what you can take away and what that strategy needs to look like for you moving forward. Step one, you need to figure out your current intake, just like we did for Frankie. Hers was around 1,400 plus-ish calories. Figure out what that is for you. How I do this with all my clients is I just have you track what you normally would eat in a day for 3 to 5 days and take an average calories of that. Then you're going to add 100 to 200 calories to this average in carbs. Many health conscious women are guilty of overeating protein and just adding this extra calories in protein. Your body is craving energy and nutrients that is going to come from carbohydrates. That is what's going to signal safety to your body and help cortisol come down for metabolism to come up. So adding in 100 to 200 calories in carbohydrates specifically is going to be the first jump in your reverse diet. Throughout the 2 weeks that you're at this little jump, I want you to assess biofeedback. And I say 2 weeks because I want you to take this a little bit slower than you would if a coach was watching you, just because typically when you don't have the accountability of a coach, we're a little bit more inconsistent and can be super reactive to making changes with our nutrition as opposed to looking at the data very logically to make changes. So I want you to go a little bit slower if you're doing this on your own. I want you to assess your biofeedback for 2 to 3 weeks. What you're expecting to happen here is better quality in your sleep, better energy levels, more mental clarity, better strength and recovery from your workouts, improved digestion, and an appetite increase. These are the signs that, hey, my body is using this food, my metabolism is upregulating, and then you can add another 100 to 200 calories after this 2 weeks. Repeat the cycle until you reach your true maintenance calories. And now, once you reach that maintenance, you kind of want to hang out there. Typically, the minimum time that you want to be at maintenance before starting a calorie deficit is 6 to 8 weeks. And that's like literally bare minimum. The longer that you can stay at maintenance, typically the general rule of thumb is actually being at your maintenance for as long as you were in a deficit for, but most women that come to me have been in a deficit for 10 plus years. So typically we don't stay there for 10 plus years, but we need to establish safety in the body internally. And the longer that you stay at maintenance, the more responsive that your body will be when we go into the deficit, and you won't have to drop your calories as low or do as much cardio in the fat loss phase to see results. And truthfully, in this maintenance phase is when your body is performing better, your relationship with food is improving, your symptoms are better, you're feeling better, and truthfully, a lot of my clients are looking better. They're losing inches on their waist, they're feeling more tight, more toned, more lean, less inflamed, less bloating, and that's what I want for you. Then after that, you can earn a fat loss phase and continue leaning out without having to white knuckle your way through an extreme diet and kind of ruin all of the changes that we just made through this healing process. So if you're someone listening to this who feels like you're trying to force fat loss from a depleted body, you are delaying the very results that you want. Instead, I need you to zoom out, and you have to support your body with proper inputs to start getting the outputs that you want. If those outputs are better digestion, better hormone production, better metabolic capacity, fat loss, and body recomposition, you need to be properly giving it the inputs that it needs. Nutrition is the most important place to start with that. So making sure that you're eating more and eating enough. Other things that we're going to look at are stress mitigation, rest, recovery, and those kinds of things that are also going to support your body with becoming responsive again. This is where healthy hormones are the foundation to predictable fat loss. I hope that this episode was helpful for you guys and really inspired you to look at your nutrition and recognize that eating more is probably the answer for you in this current season. And if it is, and if you need support with this, with a new strategy, you know where to find me.